What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. It's time for an episode of 20 for 20 where I rank the last 20 movies that I watched. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so coming up on your screen now, you can see the last 20 movies that I watched in no particular order, just to give you an idea of what we're going to be ranking today. So in no particular order, we've got Champions, Argo, The Raven, Office Space, Silence of the Lambs, Knock at the Cabin, Nightcrawler, Creed 3, Tag, Count of Monte Cristo, The Batman, Air, Scream 5, Scream 6, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Alien Covenant, The Wrestler, Prometheus, 7, and 13 Lives. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So coming in number 20, I've got Office Space. Office Space, this was a first time watch for me. It's a comedy I've heard of. You've probably seen the poster a ton of places before. But this comedy just really didn't do it for me. Wasn't a very good movie in my opinion. I know a lot of people have talked about this movie and quote it, but just really didn't do it for me. So coming in number 19, I've got Argo. Argo, directed by and stars Ben Affleck. The first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie had me glued to the screen, but after that, it just goes downhill in my opinion, and this is an Oscar winner, but it's pretty boring. Alright, so coming in number 18 is Champions, the new feel-good basketball movie with Woody Harrelson. Basically, he coaches this group of special needs kids on a basketball team. While it's a feel-good movie, has some things going for it. It's pretty average. There's not really a lot more than that. So coming in number 17, Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie. It's got Dave Bautista in it. The trailers had me really engaged for this movie, and I was hopeful that it would be good, but that's really just a pretty generic thriller here. It's not bad by any means, not at all, but it's not good either. It's just pretty average. Really what you see is what you get here. There's really no twist, which is shocking with M. Night Shyamalan. So coming in number 16, we've got The Raven. The Raven is based on the story of Edgar Allan Poe, stars John Cusack, and there's actually a pretty big cast here. Luke Evans is in it as well. And basically, John Cusack, as Edgar Allan Poe, is trying to figure out these murders. Somebody's messing with him, using Edgar Allan Poe's books as basically inspiration for their killings. And so they're calling out Edgar Allan Poe and trying to get his help, basically, to figure out who this murderer is. All right, coming in number 15, we've got Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler stars Jake Gyllenhaal. And this is a dark movie. A lot of people on YouTube recommend this movie, and Nightcrawler's dark for sure. It's one of Jake Gyllenhaal's darkest movies. His role in this is crazy. So he's basically insane in this movie, and he's off the rails in this movie. But I really didn't enjoy this movie. You can tell this is high quality filmmaking, but the movie itself, not too great in my opinion. All right, so coming in number 14, we've got Creed 3, closing out the Creed trilogy. I was a huge fan of Creed, one of the best sports movies of recent memory, really, in my opinion. The potential is here to close out the trilogy, but it doesn't quite stick the landing for me. The anime aspects that they incorporated into this movie, I wasn't a fan of that. I know some people were, but that kind of took me out of the movie. All right, so coming to number 13, we've got a pretty generic comedy called Tag. Tag came out in like 2017, 2018, somewhere in there, and it's got a pretty big cast here. It's got John Hamm, Ed Helms. It's pretty funny, but nothing really above that. So this group of friends basically still play tag, even though they're adults. In the month of May, they've all agreed that basically they can still play tag, and they're basically trying to tag their friend Jeremy Renner, which has never been tagged. So pretty good movie here. It's worth a watch. All right, so coming in number 12 for me. This one's going to be kind of controversial because I know a lot of people love this movie. A lot of people, this is their best iteration of Batman, but that's just not me. So I've tried and tried to enjoy this movie, The Batman, and there's quality filmmaking here. Robert Pattinson does a good job as the Batman, in my opinion, and Matt Reeves, I was a big fan of him from Planet of the Apes trilogy. And if I don't take this movie as a Batman movie, I might enjoy it, but as a Batman movie, this movie just does not do it for me. It's too long, number one, in my opinion, and last time I watched this, it took me like 4 or 5 tries to even get through this whole movie. That's how long it is. It's almost 3 hours, and it's tough for me to watch. I'm always up for a good 3-hour movie, but in my opinion, my humble opinion, this ain't it. But with that being said, I can give it credit in certain aspects. It's probably the darkest version of Batman that we've had, and that's pretty good to see here. All right, so coming in at number 11, we've got Scream 5. Scream 5 came out last year. It's got Jenna Ortega in it, and Scream franchise is always a hit, in my opinion. There's not really any bad movies in this franchise, and Scream 5 just keeps that going. All right, coming in number 10. To build off number 11, I've got Scream 6. So Scream 6 came out this year. I liked it a little more than Scream 5. I know a lot of people didn't like Scream 6, but I enjoyed it here, and Scream franchise, can't wait to see where they go next. So coming in number 9 for me is the newest MCU movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was a huge hit for me because MCU's really been lacking lately, in my opinion, and just hasn't been hitting for me. But Guardians of the Galaxy 3 puts the MCU back on track, hopefully, fingers crossed, to where it was before. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it's one of the darker MCU movies. It's kind of tough to watch with some of the animal stuff that we got going on here. Hopefully, James Gunn can translate what he did in this movie over to DC and carry that with him. But this is an excellent close to maybe arguably the best trilogy in the MCU and the Guardians, and this really brings Rocket's story to a close perfectly. And this is the first movie where I feel like the Guardians are kind of all together as one. You know, they're not really misfits anymore. They're actually a team. And this was really enjoyable for me. So coming in number 8, we've got Air. Air stars Ben Affleck and is directed by Ben Affleck. But there's also a big cast here besides him. So you got Jason Bateman, you got Matt Damon, plus more. So Air tells the story of Nike and them trying to sign Michael Jordan. And this was just an all-around good movie. There's no fluff with this. The soundtrack's great here. The movie's great here. This is a great watch if you hadn't seen it yet. Coming in number 7, The Count of Monte Cristo. So this movie is basically a revenge movie where it's set in the 1800s, and this guy is trying to get back at somebody that betrayed him, at these people that betrayed him. And so to do that, he has to make up that he is a count and officially the Count of Monte Cristo. And in addition to that, it stars a young Henry Cavill, a young Superman. He's probably like 16, 17 in this movie. This movie's an excellent watch, and if you haven't yet, watch it. So coming at number 6, we've got Alien Covenant. So Alien Covenant, full disclosure, I'm a big fan of the Alien franchise. I know a lot of people don't like Alien Covenant and another movie I got coming up here pretty quick in that franchise, but Alien Covenant, in my opinion, is a great movie. I really hope they get this close, the trilogy to the Ridley Scott prequels with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Don't know if that's going to happen, but Alien Covenant, if you're a fan of this franchise, go watch this movie. All right, so coming in number 5, we've got Prometheus. Prometheus, the prequel to Alien. Basically, this movie feels the most like Alien, in my opinion, in this franchise. So they go to this planet. They don't know what's going to happen. What happens there is excellent to watch. This movie is excellent to look at. It's just an all-around great movie. If you're a fan of the Alien franchise, in my opinion, you need to watch Prometheus. All right, so coming in number 4, we've got The Wrestler. The Wrestler, I've been putting off watching this movie for probably 10, 15 years now. Stars Mickey Rourke, and this movie is great. It's dark. It's tough to watch, tough to get through. You know, it tells a story of a wrestler trying to, no pun intended, wrestle with the fact that, do I keep trying to wrestle and maybe kill myself in the process? Or do I try to fix my family that I've broken from wrestling all these years? And this is an excellent watch. It might be a one-time watch type of movie, you know, where you don't want to watch it again. But what you do see in this one watch is terrific. All right, so coming in number 3, 13 Lives. 13 Lives is on Amazon Prime. It's Amazon Prime original. I've heard a little bit about this movie, but I haven't got the chance to check it out till just now. And I am glad I did. I wish I would have watched it months ago. Stars Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell. And basically they are these scuba divers trying to rescue these kids who have been trapped in this cave because of too much rain, too many thunderstorms, and basically it's flooding. And so they have to scuba dive like miles into this cave and try to save these kids. And even if you're not a scuba diver, even if you're not a fan of water, this movie is excellent to watch. And they're trying to, you see them going through these tight spaces and you feel what they're going through in this movie. All right, so coming in number 2. So full disclosure, these top 2 movies are in my top 10 movies of all time. But at number 2, it was kind of hard to distinguish between the two. But at number 2, I've got The Silence of the Lambs. So The Silence of the Lambs, you know him, Hannibal Lecter. If you've not seen this movie, go watch it. But Silence of the Lambs is just a classic. So I've seen this movie probably, 10, 20 times now. And every time it just gets better. Buffalo Bill, Clarice Starling, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter. Basically, it's like a detective movie to where they're trying to figure out who Buffalo Bill is. They invest the help of a cannibal, Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal the cannibal helps Clarice Starling basically try to find Buffalo Bill. And so coming in at number 1 is Seven. Seven stars Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, directed by David Fincher. This movie is one of the best detective movies of all time, if not the best detective movie. It's a suspenseful movie. It's a mystery. And basically, 7 comes from the name of this murderer in the movie is killing people for the 7 deadly sins. and he's killing one person for each sin. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman have a week to figure out who the killer is, and watching this movie, it never gets old, and watching the descent into darkness in this movie is pretty good to watch. So let me know how you would rank these movies down in the comment section below. If you haven't seen all 20, just let me know which movies you have seen and rank those. And as always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. That way when I post more content like this, you'll be the first one to know about it. So until next time, hey G,